What's going on, guys? This is Ryan with RK Outpost, and CD Projekt Red is being forced yet again to come out and address the disaster that has been the launch of Cyberpunk 2077, this time in full video form, in what a lot of people are calling another public apology. But if you listen to it, and some of the things that are said that completely contradict a lot of other things that we have heard from CD Projekt Red themselves about this game, a lot of other people think that this is being done very strategically at a very corporate level, written by lawyers to make sure that they are not held accountable for the things that they did in the lead up to this game. I want to take a look at everything. I want to listen to the entire statement from CD Projekt Red and provide you guys with some additional context. Now, before we even start the video, it should be noted that CD Projekt Red is really under the gun right now. CD Projekt has not only several lawsuits being filed against them, right? We have talked about this on this channel before. Investor files class action lawsuit against CD Projekt Red. Investor sues CD Projekt Red over bungled Cyberpunk 2077 launch. Not only in the United States, but also in Poland, there are a lot of lawsuits being filed. They need to figure out which law firm exactly is going to push that forward. But additionally, in the past few days, we had this news. CD Projekt Red could be fined 10% of its annual income by the Polish government if Cyberpunk 2077 patches don't fix the game because of what they did and how they sold this product. They are under the gun right now, which is why a lot of people think this statement happened. I'm going to let you listen to the whole thing. I am going to interject, however, and provide a couple clarifications and some things that I think are very interesting in this statement. Here we go. Dear gamers.
Hey everyone, my name is Marcin Iwiński and I'm the co-founder of CD Projekt. When I started CD Projekt 25 years ago, one of its founding principles was honest and direct communication with gamers. When CD Projekt Red, the game development part of CD Projekt, was born, it added something important to that principle, the ambition to make the best games in the world. It became our mission and something that guided us up until now. Based on that legacy of genuine and honest communication, you've trusted us and pre-ordered our game.
The legacy of trusted, it's all good stuff. They always say the right things, does CD Projekt Red. Doesn't quite fly with what you said just weeks before the release of this game. Cyberpunk 2077 runs surprisingly well on current-gen consoles, according to the CEO, right? According to the CEO. So just keep that in mind.
And despite good reviews on PC, the console version of Cyberpunk 2077 did not meet the quality standard we wanted it to meet.
So there they are saying that, hey, everybody loved it on PC. We got really good reviews on PC. I would say the reviews on PC are much better than what they are on PlayStation 4 and Xbox, to be sure, but I wouldn't say that this is where they wanted it to be. They expected this game to be above 90 on Metacritic. It was not. The critics had some problems with this game, some actual problems, like all the woke nonsense that the journalists were spewing about, some actual legitimate problems with the game, and we've seen the user score. I don't think that it's a masterpiece. That I think that a lot of people that are having fun with the game, even though it is still very flawed, but that's just a little aside. Hey guys, you know, people love the PC game, but you know, the consoles are just what they are.
I and the entire leadership team are deeply sorry for this, and this video is me publicly owning up to that.
That's a good thing.
Please, don't fault any of our teams for what happened. They all are incredibly talented and hardworking. Myself and the board are the final decision makers, and it was our call to release the game. Although, believe me, we never ever intended for anything like this to happen. I assure you that we'll do our best to regain your trust.
So there it is. Like I said, with all these legal ramifications, this statement was approved through their entire legal team. Of that, I have no doubt. Now, to their credit, like I said, a lot of people see this as them owning up to it. This is the apology portion of this video. The rest is trying to make excuses for everything that happened and retool everything, make sure you see it in a different light to make sure they say the right things legally. Now, again, we never intended for any of this to happen. They want to frame this as incompetence rather than intentional, right? Because when you make a statement like this, it runs surprisingly well on current-gen consoles. And when you say that the console versions were ignored, that certainly seems like you're almost admitting to you guys putting this on the back burner, ignoring these issues instead of just incompetence. But this next part is going to reframe that. And again, to their credit, they have provided a lot of refunds for these things. People are getting their refunds back from CD Projekt Red, even for their physical games. But when you look at all the legal situations, they're kind of forced to. So let's continue.
Now I'd like to tell you how the situation looked like from the inside. Cyberpunk 2077 is huge in scope. And I'm not only talking about quests or things you see at first glance. I'm talking about a multitude of custom objects, interacting systems and mechanics. In the game, everything is not stretched out over flat terrain where we can make things less taxing hardware-wise, but condensed in one big city and in a relatively loading-free environment. On its own, this is a challenge, but we made it even more difficult for ourselves by wanting to make the game look epic on PCs and then adjusting it to consoles, especially old gens.
Old gens is current gen. They keep trying to reframe this as old gen. PS4, Xbox One being old gen. No, PS5, Xbox Series X are next gen. PS4 and Xbox One are current gen, and that was always what you intended to release it on. And again, reframing this situation, we just wanted to make such an incredible game on PC, which we told you everybody loved. Everybody loves it on PC, right? The problem was those consoles, but we tried to do the best we could.
That was our core assumption. And things did not look super difficult at first. We knew the hardware gap, yes, but ultimately, I think that time has proven that we've underestimated the task. To give a concrete example and the main culprit, we had to constantly improve our in-game streaming system for all gen consoles. Streaming is responsible for feeding the engine with what you see on screen, as well as the game mechanics. And since the city is so packed and the disk bandwidth of all gens is what it is, it constantly challenged us.
So again, right, pushing the blame, this is what they will do through this entire thing. They will say, hey, we're sorry these things happened, but I mean, really, it's this, these old gen hardware, we just couldn't handle it. It is what it is. Sony, Microsoft, pushing the blame on you. It's going to happen later on as well.
Every change and improvement needed to be tested, and as it turned out, our testing did not show a big part of the issues you experienced while playing the game.
There it is right there. Our testing did not show a big portion of the issues that you are seeing in this game. Sorry, I mean, our testers just didn't see it, guys. A lot of the problems you're having, we tested it, but we just didn't see it. I'm sorry. We're so incompetent. We didn't realize it would be this way, right? That flies in the face of what you said to your investors a few weeks ago, I should say, doesn't it? Cyberpunk 2077 PS4 and Xbox One version was ignored, CD Projekt Red admits. And here's the transcript. We're not going to use headline, we'll actually get the transcript here. After 3 delays, we as a management board were too focused on releasing the game. We underestimated the scale and complexity of the issues. We ignored the signals about the need for additional time to refine the game on base last-gen consoles. Well, now you're saying that we didn't see those issues. So which is it, CD Projekt Red? And this is what I will continue to say. I know there are a lot of you here that are going to do whatever you can to cuck for CD Projekt Red because that's what you do. Anything they say you will take as fucking scripture and you'll go jump through any hoops to be able to defend them. The bottom line is something is not adding up. Were they lying then or were they lying now? This is all to cover their ass for the legal ramifications. That is the bottom line. Ah, fuck. Here we go.
While playing the game. As we got closer to the final release, we saw significant improvements each and every day, and we really believed we would deliver in the final Day Zero update. Now let's talk about the review process. We started,
and we finally believed that we believed that we would do it on the Day Zero release. And again, you told us that it runs surprisingly well. Several weeks before the release. And in fact, oh, where is it right here? What about this? This was in fucking January. This is a year ago. Almost a year before the eventual release. Cyberpunk 2077 is complete and playable, but delayed to September. Right? But yeah, we really thought we'd get it done by the Day Zero release. Fuck you.
Sending our PC review keys in the first days of December. On launch day, December 10th, we hit the ground running with a really good start on PC. While not perfect, it's a version of Cyberpunk we are very proud of. At the same time, we're fighting for quality on all-gen consoles till the very last moment. And every extra day of us working on the Day Zero update brought visible improvement. This is why we started sending console review keys on the 8th of December.
That again, if you were working all this way to get it done on console, but you say that you didn't see the issues that we saw. I don't understand this from CD Projekt Red.
Which was later than we originally planned. This all happened while working from home with all the challenges.
I need to back it up because I talked over that last part. This is talking about the review codes, because remember, they didn't provide any review codes for consoles. They're telling you they didn't see any of these issues, yet they didn't provide review codes for consoles. They didn't show you gameplay from consoles. This is just yet another spin job from CD Projekt Red packaged to make you feel sorry for them.
Keys on the 8th of December, which was later than we originally planned. This all happened while working from home with all the challenges resulting from the COVID-related restrictions. A lot of the dynamics we normally take for granted got lost over video calls or email, and we took that hit too.
Everyone is dealing with COVID. You can't say it's not a problem because working from home is a problem for a lot of people. However, other games have been released, and other games, if they weren't able to do it, they delayed it appropriately. Like this game should have been delayed.
Now I'd like to tell you about our plans for the future and present a path for Cyberpunk 2077 on consoles and PC. We have already released 3 hotfixes improving the game, but that's just the beginning. Our ultimate goal is to fix the bugs and crashes gamers are experiencing across platforms. Please expect bigger and smaller patches on a regular basis. The first update will be dropping within 10 days, and it will be followed by another, more significant one in the following weeks. We will, of course, continue to work on the game in future updates and improvements beyond that. Our big plans for supporting Cyberpunk in the long term did not change.
And this is a very important part. This gets to their timeline, right? This is their timeline, their roadmap ahead, which is very free of any actual deadlines. It literally says release 2021 and 2022, and somewhere in here all this stuff will happen. They said within 10 days you should see this patch, and then a couple following weeks this patch. That would be the January and February patches that they promised. I'm not wholly, I don't think that that'll happen. I think the first one probably will. The second one in February, who knows at this point. But look at this. Free DLCs, free next-gen console updates, which they will get to. Let's let him explain.
As for the free DLCs, our initial plan was to deliver them just after the release, much like we did with The Witcher 3. We decided to focus on the most important fixes and updates first, and we'll be releasing the DLCs afterwards. Expect more information in the upcoming months. For those of you playing on next-gen consoles in back compatibility, you can still expect the free next-gen update for Xbox Series consoles and PlayStation 5 arriving in 2021. We are aiming at the second half of the year.
We're aiming.
I'd like to end this video by assuring you that we treat this entire situation very seriously and are working hard to make it right. The guiding principles of our company are still core to what we do. We still want to make amazing games and have an open communication with you, our players. For now, our immediate focus is to work hard on making sure you enjoy Cyberpunk 2077 regardless of platform. Beyond Cyberpunk, we have many plans for the future, which we'll share more about when we're ready. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video.
So again, right? Again, there are a lot of things to pick apart and a lot of things that have been reframed. Oh, well, you know, we're just incompetent. The QA just didn't see it. Sorry, guys. I mean, I know we bragged about, you know, how long we've played this game and haven't been able to get through it. All the QA testing that was done that we talked about over and over again, but we just didn't see those issues. And I think that CD Projekt Red, I think that this is a spin job. This is a spin job to help protect them from all of these things because the statements they made immediately following, hey guys, we ignored this. We apologize. We're sorry we ignored the problems. Now it's, well, we didn't see those problems, right? And all of these updates, all these fixes, they are under the gun from the Polish government to get these things done. And when you look at the entire history of CD Projekt Red, the idea that, you know, this is always the game they intended to release. It's not perfect, but we're really proud of it. You know, I find that hard to believe because you guys even said 15 years ago, or 5 years ago, that you know the market is afraid of badly polished games when talking about The Witcher 3. You had problems with The Witcher 3 even though you delayed it, but you didn't account for that with Cyberpunk 2077. And one thing I really wanted to point out is this. 2 years ago, almost 3 years ago, CD Projekt Red responds to loot box controversy. This is what you said. Talking about when people spend their money on a game. Conversation sounds way too nice to describe what happened last year. I would rather call it community backlash. As this time around, it wasn't just a hardcore community. There are a lot of pissed off gamers out there decided to speak up. Where we stand is quite simple, and you can see it with all our past releases. If you buy a fully priced game, you should get a big polished piece of content which gives you many, many hours of fun gameplay. The definition of mini may vary on a title-by-title basis, but in our case, it was 50 to 60 hours of mainline story with a couple hundred of hours of side activities. And when you compare Cyberpunk 2077 to what you said, The Witcher, that people would be getting for their money, and that's your expectation, you can see that it's not nearly the game that The Witcher 3 was, even though you said that's what you feel people should be getting their money's worth. Again, shout out to them for giving refunds to people who ask it while under the gun of the government, while facing all these lawsuits. Shout out to them for apologizing, but really I just see it as them shifting blame once again for everything that's going on this time, because they know they are going to be in severe legal trouble going forward. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments below. I'm sure a lot of people disagree with me. Let me know. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching, everyone, and a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my PO box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.